Hi, welcome. My name's Mizano, and I'm going to be showing you I'm going to go through my blog, my AS Media blog. As you can see, this was the first task that I had to do. It was a Photoshop CD tutorial. I had to get familiar with the tools and the features of Photoshop, and as you can see, I did a step-by-step kind of guide on how I did it. This was the second task that was set. I had to again. It was I had to use Photoshop. I had to use new features like the spot healing tool, which gets rid of like blemishes, and also I use like Smart Blur, which like gave like a glowing effect, as you can see on the picture. Um, I used new tools and new features, and it I gained more knowledge by this was a task that I got set given. I had to again get familiar with like some of the Photoshop features and everything. I was set a task to actually create a media poster, and we had to get an image of a famous person. Um, so I had to follow a step-by-step tutorial, and I created that. Um, that's the first time I had to use I had to use InDesign, um, and I followed a tutorial. Um, And as you can see, it's not a lot that I've done, but I just had to get familiar with the software just in general. So you know, I learned a lot during that lesson because I haven't used it before. It's something that I gained. Like I gained a lot of knowledge. This was the first magazine cover analysis that I done. I focused on like the layout, the genre, the print style, and everything. I addressed everything. I focused on all of them. And I did the same on the on another one. This was the second one that I did. I focused on exactly the same thing. I focused on the audience and the layout and genre and print style and everything. This was the first college magazine masthead that I did. It was my first attempt. I wanted something that represented High Clarendon as a college. I used the same colours that I used on the logo. I just wanted something, and I got really good feedback from my teacher and also my mates and everything. They gave me really good feedback. They said it's unique as well as something that's suitable for the college magazine. I focused on medium close-up photography because it's going to come in handy. Because I need to I need to learn these kinds of shot types because I'm going to be including these features in my when I do my real um, official magazine. And also I created a poll junkie to get to get audience research, and get answers from the questions that I actually sent put up on the thingy. Um, I did some shot type research, so I was applying what I've learned so far. So that was the first picture is a medium close up shot, and then that one's a close up, and that one's a bird's eye view image, and the last one is a long shot image. I then um, focused on like close up shots, you know, um, just to get a rough idea on how to, what features are on close up shots to show that it's a close up shot. So I looked at some of the, you know, um, I did some research on it, and I decided to upload this, which are some of my previous, design ideas and also stuff that I've created in my spare time. As you can see, the supernova is some of that. Is for an upcoming project, but the second one I haven't got any use for at the moment, which is municipal. So I decided to use it for my music magazine. It represents the urban, field. Um, this was the Drawn College magazine draft that I did. You know, as you can see, I just wanted to get a rough kind of idea on how I wanted. I just expressed, my like vision on how I wanted the magazine to look like. And I was quite pleased with it. Um, this was one of the first things that I've done. Unfortunately, I faced some technical issues, so I had to re-upload it. It's basically a film review. Um, I did it on InDesign. Um, I got the review from Daily Mail and I copy and pasted it, but I used a variety of tools to actually produce it, and I got good feedback. I decided to do some analysis on existing college magazines. I just focused on stuff like how it's like what makes it a college magazine, how it suggests it's a college magazine as well. I looked at some features, which I focused on, and I included it on my college magazine. These are some of the photos that I took for my college magazine as well. As you can see, that's the front cover image. That, and they're like for the contents page. This is the font activity. So I uploaded the fonts that I'm going to use that I was using on my college magazine. I wanted something like simple, however, like unique and elegant, as well as being stylish. Because I don't want it to be overpowering. It's a college magazine, so I wanted some stylish fonts, but I didn't want it to be overpowering. And I chose these. You know, I describe why I chose them and everything. This is a step by step kind of progress post. Like on what I've done. You know, like a step by step kind of thing that I've done with my college magazine. As you can see, it's each step. I've made different changes, and I've uploaded more features. That's my completed college magazine evaluation. I focused on some of the like the main areas of like how a college magazine should be and everything. I asked some questions as well, which I asked some of the people, and I actually answered them for my evaluation. This was the first music magazine analysis that I've done. I was quite interested in this one because basically, what I want to do as a music magazine is what this magazine is. It's an existing magazine in the market. It represents the music industry as well as the fashion industry, which I want to do for my music magazine. As I want it to be mainly focused on music. However, I want it to represent like I want it fashion to be involved within the music as well. Because my magazine is going to be an urban magazine. This was some of the images that I collected, and as you can see, the first one I put together on using Photoshop. These are some of the music that I listened to, and the second one I got from the internet. This is the second music magazine analysis that I've done. I focused on like the audience, the general demographic, you know, um, the color scheme. I focused on quite a lot of the stuff like the audience and everything, just to get a rough idea, on the music magazine. These are some of the masters for my music magazine. Initially, I came up with a couple, you know, that I used like online websites such as like Defont to actually find them. I was quite pleased with the ones that I actually created. This is a music magazine double page spread analysis. Again, I focused on the exact same thing. However, this one's a double spread page. Um, but I didn't go into detail with the magazine. I actually like um, I analyzed the, the article. I haven't done this yet. Um, I'll get onto that. Thing is, I've been facing some technical difficulties, so that'll be uploaded as soon as possible. And I've already done a music magazine draft. This is the second one that I'm going to do. I'll show you the one I've already done in a bit, as soon as possible. Now that this is my final magazine master that I've done. I used Photoshop to actually create them too. I want it. As I said, my magazine's going to be an urban kind of magazine, and I'm quite happy with the outcome of it. It looks really appealing and it suits my target market. And these are some of the promotional kind of images I created using Photoshop. As you can see, I took these images in Manchester. The second one is on St James Street, and the first one is the Manchester Cathedral. I used Photoshop to actually enhance the image, make it look more appealing. The first one looks more gothic, and the second one is near like Chinatown, and it looks, I'm really happy, by the images, like really high resolution images. I used an SLR camera to actually produce them. So, I got really good feedback from my mates, and also people at, in my class, and I got good feedback from my teacher, you know. I decided to do some, magazine target audience kind of research. I focused on some of the statistics. It was quite interesting. I checked some websites out. I found some very interesting facts on like the statistics on like who reads the magazines and everything. And oh yeah, and I decided to do a magazine contents page analysis. I focused on a music magazine. Um, I looked at the Q magazines, contents page because they're quite a renowned kind of, they're a renowned magazine. So again, I focused on the exact same thing, like how it's represented, the audience, what makes it suggest it's a music magazine. I looked at some of the features and how it suggests it's a music magazine. All right, this is a draft step by step music magazine draft that I did. But I'll show you the draft. That was the draft that I did. As you can see, I'm quite pleased with it. And I got really good feedback from it. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't have an image of my own, but it's just a draft. So I got an image off the internet, but the kind of the image style that I'll be using is going to be similar to that. It's going to have like a gradient kind of um, background. So, even though it's a draft, I always put a lot of effort in my work. So, I wanted it to look very professional. And, I got really good feedback from my peers and everything, and I'm quite pleased with it. And, you know, I'm going to be doing another draft soon, and I'll be using my own images this time. I'll be taking high quality images for the next time I do it. But I'll show you um, the step by step one that I did. As you can see, look, I've done a step by step kind of tutorial on how I've done it. That was how I started off, and then I added on the cover lines, and I did a filter as well. You know, um, so overall, I'm really happy with my draft. I put on a lot of effort, and yeah. So I'm just gonna edit this now, and I'm gonna, I'll do a second music draft. I'm gonna do a couple of music magazine drafts. Okay, so thank you for watching my podcast. That's it.